Hi everyone, this is Peanut and welcome to my channel. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how I built a pathwalk on the side of the house and how I transformed it from this to this. But before that, I would like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. As you can see, when we bought the house, our backyard and the side of the house were all clay and dirt, covered with weeds. During rainy seasons, it was hard to walk around the yard or do some work because it was all muddy. After I finished landscaping some parts of the backyard, I decided to do the side pathwalk before I would continue to finish any other work in the backyard. We like having friends and neighbors come over to our house, and sometimes we love to hang out in the backyard, so I wanted to make a nice pathwalk for them to walk on when they come. This is all a DIY or do-it-yourself project, and I only needed a little help from my hubby, like moving the rocks. First, we flattened the ground. We moved some of the dirt and filled up the parts that were very low. We had some extra dirt that we dug up from our backyard and we used them to level the ground inside the house. We used a tamper to pound and level the ground. I also dug up around the openings of the drainage and put some rocks around them before laying the weed barriers. This way, the water can flow through and between the rocks when it's raining. There are two openings on this side of the house for the drainage system that were pre-installed when we bought the house, and I didn't have to add extra openings. After digging up around the openings of the drainage system and putting some rocks around them, I covered the ground with weed barriers. Always make sure to put a weed barrier when you are doing stuff like this. There will still be possibility that weeds will grow, but at least the weed barriers will slow their growth and will be a lot easier to just pull out the weeds because they won't be able to grow at the same time and there won't be a lot. The next thing was putting the terrace border. I wanted the pathwalk to be curvy because for me, it would look a little bit nicer than just making it straight. While putting the borders, my hobby was putting fill sand at the same time. After putting the borders for the pathwalk, I also put some borders for divisions for the rocks and soil. We have so much extra salt and pepper rocks, so I decided to put them at the bottom to fill up some space before putting the red lava rocks. This way, we don't need to use so much lava rocks. Initially, I wanted to use red mulch, but I did research about using red mulch and I found out that the color would fade, especially when they always get wet. So I decided to use red lava rocks instead. I know there are pros and cons between using either mulch or red lava rocks, but overall I prefer the lava rocks since it's only for aesthetic purposes. It would contrast the white dolomite rocks that we would be using later for the pathwalk. I forgot to record how we put the garden soil, but I put some bark underneath. My mistake is that I ordered the wrong soil mixture, but I did not realize that until 2 weeks later when I noticed that the soil was so compact. I checked our receipt and we ordered a 70-30, which means 70% screen soil and 30% compost. I should have ordered the 50-50 mixture, but I was able to enhance the soil quality by adding my DIY compost using coffee grounds, eggshells, and some dried leaves. As you can see later in this video, the plants are doing great. The last part was making the pathwalk itself. We filled the pathwalk with sand and leveled it by using a tamper. The height is about a ½ inch. I also sprayed the sand with water to make sure they will be compacted. This is to make sure that the ground pathwalk won't be sinking because there will be a lot of traffic and we will be using this to bring some materials to the back of the house like rocks and salt when we have to do more work in the backyard. It will eventually, but at least it will not be that bad. After putting the fill sand, we covered them using the extra salt and pepper rocks. Again, I sprayed water and pounded the rocks until they were leveled and almost or no more movement each time I pounded. The next thing is putting the stepping stones. We got these stepping stones or pavers from Lowe's for $6.98 a piece and we used 18 pieces. I used a tape measure to measure the distance between each paver, but the distance did not have to be perfect or exactly equal. I just had to make sure that it would be comfortable to walk on them by making sure they are not too far or too close from one another. So I tried walking on them, and when I felt that it was comfortable, we started putting the dolomite rocks. The size of the dolomite rocks that we use here is 1.5 inch. We started on one end of the pathwalk, and each time we dumped the rocks, I arranged them and pounded them using a rubber hammer. I had to pay attention to the edges of the pavers and make sure that they would not be moving. Also the space between the border and the pavers. I had to arrange and pound the rocks first using a hammer before I pounded the rocks using the tamper. While I was doing this, my hobby was putting the dolomite rocks between the stepping stones. We were able to finish landscaping our side pathwalk within 3 days. It took us a little longer because we could only work for 4 to 5 hours a day, and also we had to pick up some rocks and boulders from the community. Yes, we got the bigger rocks that we put here from the neighborhood for free, as well as some of the plants that I planted here. So just a tip, you don't really have to buy everything for your DIY landscaping because there is a lot of free stuff that you can get from the neighborhood. Just be nice and friendly. There's a social media group in our community where I can post and ask to look for free stuff that I need. After 3 months is now how our side pathwalk looks like. I also just finished connecting it to the
After
pathwalk at the
100
back of the house
years,
while building our DIY
I was
mini
finally
pond and a
able to
dry
connect
creek
the
bed,
pathways.
which I'm going to show you in my next videos. Just make sure you subscribe to my channel.
That's our pond. I just planted grass seeds there, and on the side. So yeah, this is where I connected the pathways, and now it's connected. They're connected. Wow, it's a beautiful sunset. Look at the zinnia flowers. So pretty. Wow, these are beautiful. And I have some Thai peppers. Thai chili peppers.
I also put some solar lights and torches along the pathwalk, and it looks really lovely and peaceful at night. I hope that you liked my video and you learned something. If you have questions or comments or suggestions, feel free to write them in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in my next videos.